morning. It's another beautiful Monday morning from your national broadcaster, Grts. My name is Ibrahim Cham, and welcome to the first edition of the AM show of the week, where we're breaking live to bring you the picture of a new day, which sets your early morning in motion. Now, this show actually gives you the very best of current affairs, entertainment, sports, and some exciting interviews with the people who matter. Now, coming up this morning, this will be one of the shortest AM shows, but we will bring you our usual segments: the breakfast, coffee with sports, and French, obviously. Now, I'm your presenter, Ibrahim Cham. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, good morning and welcome back to the AM show. Obviously, we're going to start this edition of the AM show with our breakfast segment, which obviously is to, spice up your morning, give you that appetizer, give you a taste of what to actually put together to have a wonderful, wonderful breakfast. So let's go with this video and we'll be right back with the show.
Hi, this is X Miles.
Hi, this is Six.
Hello, I'm Ronald.
Hi, I am Anna Mane, a fashion designer.
I am Danny Constant.
And I'm Fanta Jamba Sise.
AM show, I'm watching each and every AM. So every Gambian and every person watch the AM show each and every day. Hey, Chahan Kuwandati Jinka Bitol Faledak. If I like a Tamako Mansaki, Inyal Ben Kanchak, Koleko Simbe Duma Sabe Duma Fonse Mutaletap, Konye General Uebokadi Amulimo Yefimak, Victory Tapadi Tap, no fit songs Demagot Pap, Dan Salmano got chop, if I know Willy Bones we had up, skunk direct AM show. Afoba, mad.
Welcome to Grts Breakfast Segment Show. Today, I'm presenting to you a meal, a very delicious meal in 10. So basically, we've got avocado here, which is of course the very nutritious, highly nutritious and very beautiful fats. We've got the sardine, and I've got lettuce, which is mixed lettuce, or if you can have it like salad at home. Then we have cherry tomatoes, and I've got eggs. And I've also got beans, which are of course the black eyed beans, of course eggs. Then we get onions, spring onions, and a chili. I've got a mixture of spices or seasoning, which is of course the salt and pepper mixed together just to make it easier for us on the show. So first of all, we need to know why am I using all these ingredients at the same time. Today, fish is becoming a very big item in the market, and then people really need to know what are the other variations of getting a fish meal within our homes. So whatever fish you can get from the fish market, be it fresh from the sea or from a fishmonger, we can equally use sardine in tins to give us the same nutritious value and also quality of feeding in our households. Then of course beans, we know beans are very, very high when it comes to almost they are the best, because whatever meat or beef is got, beans has got it, but of course with less of the ions that we got in the beefs. So today of course I've got onions. Of course they are all washed to make sure we save time, but I can always wash again for you to see that. You can hear the onions talking to me in the frying pan, obviously. Then of course we need it for extra amounts and stuff like that, so of course I would like to make it a bit more Don't try this at home if you're not fully confident with knives. So I'm sauteing, which is kind of like frying, slow frying or low heat frying of my onions just to make sure they are broken into pieces outside in the middle of. You don't really need onions, overcooked, because in that way you're getting into a different level of balancing. Of course, onions got what we call it sedative effects, meaning they can help you sleep well, and they are also flavor enhancers, and they give you a better taste, and also gives you what we call the texture on the palate. So now that I've got the onion sauteed, all I need to do now is to season it, which of course I've got the salt and pepper here ready. So I'll just do a little teaspoon. So this is not up to the size of a teaspoon, that's why I'm doing more into it. I will pour in now my high protein. So whatever meals we're preparing before you should be done within 10 minutes and presented on the table within the same 10 minutes. So now that I've got this going on there, I've got my cherry tomatoes, which are still washed. Like I said, they've all been washed already, but nothing wrong having to wash again. So I cut them in lengthways. These are cherry plums, by the way, beautiful with flavors. So I'm just still gonna add this into it. You can add as many as you want, depending on your love to onions. See, sometimes we like to do our yegas in many different ways, but it's also good to have it in this version. So now while this is preparing, and then I'm sure the flavors are now interacting and then it's infusing within itself. So I need to get myself ready with the salad because the meal is just about to be ready. Almost every vegetable before consuming, you need to get it washed. Well, the best way to wash a salad or lettuce is having to make sure it's washed in acid, which is either lemon juice, vinegar, or sometimes they use chlorine. Or if you don't have any of those, you can always go back to fresh, clean water. The reason why you use chlorine or acids into lettuce is because lettuce do have some insects that will like to consume or be on them, but they survive on leaves and their skins are very soft. So when you have acid over them, it burns the skins and they don't survive it. They will have to die. So that's why we use that. So now that this is ready, I'll turn it off. The reason of me turning it off, I don't want it overly hot. I know at home we always call it pear, but this is not a pear. A pear is kind of like, it's got the look of a guava at home. Almost they all have the similar guava look, but a pear would have kind of more like the old fluorescent filament bulbs. But this is called a pear, avocado. The best to do with an avocado is use a spoon to go, get this, and then you grab it, it comes out. There are many ways. Either you cut it again and do like you do a mango. Cross, 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 cross. Then you open it this way. It's all allowed. then you can easily pour it all out without having to waste time, and it will come out very nice and clean. So either this way, so I'm gonna still use the skin of it, and then this one you can get this also in a different way using a spoon again. The reason why I use a spoon, because the shape of an avocado is almost the shape of a spoon, so you can always go this way, then it helps you to get it scooped out nicely. You got it out again. Then the skin, I wouldn't need that. Then this will stay around there because I wouldn't need it too. So then, because that one was cross-cut, this one also will be of the same cubic cutting. For avocado or greens like this, the best to be able to enhance their flavors out is having to squeeze a bit of lemon juice over it, and it brings the flavors out. These lemons or all these vegetables here and salads have been cleaned and cleaned. So don't you worry. The reason why I'm going this way is because before cutting a lime or a lemon, you need to squeeze so that it gets broken inside, and while squeezing it, it's easier to get the juice out. So then squeeze that lemon or lime actually. Fine. Now my meal in 10 is ready and about to be presented to you or plated to you. Plate is wiped up nice and dry before being on display. So now I have the beans mixture ready, the avocado is ready, and I've got the sardine. And you've got loads of this beautiful combination to get you a really balanced diet in your morning to kickstart your day. So here we go with the presentation. The salad already washed. So I'm doing the salad on one area only. Then I'll have to use this avocado. I think the Kamarakundas, when they see this, they will start going, "Boy." You know them. When it comes to food, they don't joke. They're always on point. They're never late. They will be late for school, they will be late for other things, but when it comes to food, they will always be the ones to be there first. But that's the nature of the Kamarakundas. What I've done with these eggs, these are perfectly soft boiled eggs. I mean, sometimes we get our eggs overcooked that you cannot even see the difference between a yolk and a white. But here we go. Now when you open it, you can see it, voila, runny in the middle. That is what we're talking about. And then you just go like that. Another one here. So now I'm gonna flake this sardine that's actually been nicely crispy fried. And then now my food is ready. All I need to do is having to add just a bit of reddish coloring into it, just to give that color burst. Then this is just spring onion. I know you have a lot of greens on it, but at the end of the day, what's wrong in having more greens on your plate? It can only go greener. Greener, the better. Here we go. That's your meal in 10. Fresh avocado, perfectly running boiled egg, crunchy fried sardine, and a few halves of cherry plum tomatoes. Here we go, meals in 10. Have a bite. Tell us how you feel about it. I am happy with my presentation. Obviously, it's big for all the Kamakundas to enjoy themselves. For me, as a Bojang, I'll go a small drop. Meals in 10, GRT's only breakfast segment. Chef Bojang, presenter today. Thank you so much.
That's our very own Chef Bojang, always doing wonderful, wonderful things with his cuisines. Now, Chef Bojang is obviously celebrated worldwide for his wonderful participation in the world of cooking and in the world of cuisines, and has represented the Gambia in various competitions, and obviously has taken up the crown and the main prize. Now, Chef Bojang has opened his own restaurant called Luna Lounge at Village at Senegambia, so you can visit him to have a taste of one of the Gambia's best chefs, or one of Africa's best chefs, because he has won competitions representing the Gambia, which is, continent-wide, and he made a very, very great job. Now we'll move on to our newspaper review. This is the Standard front page. The Standard front page says NPP is out to sustain the 2016 change. Barrow. Hey. Hey. Well, sorry for that technical hitch. And on top of the newspaper here, we have PDOIS Adamaba blasts government for lack of leadership in the fight against COVID-19. And next to it is victims vow to settle for nothing but Jammeh's prosecution. With Kijera's picture there, who's the chairman of the Victim Center. We also have Barrow renews commitment to judicial independence, and have over 1,000 teachers promoted. So that's on the headline of the Standard newspaper this morning, with President Barrow's picture on the front page. NPP is out to sustain the 2016 change. We do understand that President Barrow was launching his political party, NPP, during the weekend at the Independence Stadium, and there was a massive turnout. And everybody knows that 2021 will be a very, very interesting election a year. Now we'll go for a short break, and when we return, the AM show continues with our guest.
Hey, I am Sister Yai.
Hi, this is X-Mile.
Hi, this is Sex.
Hello, I'm Ronald.
Hi, I am Anamane, a fashion designer.
I am Danny Constant.
And I'm Fanta Jamba Sise.
AM show, I'm watching each and every AM. So every Gambian and every person watch the AM show each and every day. Hey, Chahan kuwandati jenka bitol fale dak. Ifele katamo komansaki inyal ben kanchak kole ko simbe duma sabe duma fonse mutale tap konye general webo kadi amulimo ye fimak victory tap at the top no fit songs them a go pop dan salman go chop if I no really bones we add up skank the AM show afoba man.
Yep, welcome back. And now to our next segment, which is my favorite segment of the AM show, which is Coffee With by Sainabu Jain, in which she actually interviews young entrepreneurs or young people who are doing wonderful within their careers, within their different careers. Now, this next segment, which is Coffee With, has a very, very, very interesting guest. Stay tuned and watch this one. You will enjoy it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Coffee. Is Musu Bakoto Sawa, a young lady I've been waiting to interview. It's been a year or so, but I believe now is the right time, and why we're here today. So I'll do nothing but welcome her to the interview platform and continue.
Thank you very much, Seda.
You're
and
welcome.
My apologies.
It's okay, it's okay.
It's been a crazy year,
I
but
know.
if this is the right time as well. This is when it was willed.
Yeah.
And I am thankful to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thank you, thank you. You know, the ones that are advocating for change, you know, when you hear their stories, it encourages you to speak up. And it gives you hope, even if someone hasn't gone through FGM or child marriage. But anything else that they've gone through, like GBV and all of that, then they can feel free to speak up. And so, you know, we have the example of Jaha. She also spoke out about her experience, and now that has inspired young people to actually speak up. So we need more Jahas and Musus. So let's talk about your educational background. How has being a lawyer impacted the change you're yearning for?
So from a really early age, I've always known that I wanted to do something in relation to the law. I remember growing up, I wanted to be a police woman, until someone crushed that dream and told me that, well, if you want to be a police officer, you don't really have to be educated.
Oh.
Yes, because that's the stereotypes that are associated being in the service. But now growing up, you see that it's different. You have exceptional lawyers who are members of the police fraternity, a part of the law enforcement agencies. So it's like, okay, if that's the case, then I want to be a lawyer, because I have seen how the lack of existence of the laws in this country at the time has impacted women and girls. And even now that we have very progressive laws, we've seen how some cases are litigated, some of the gaps that existed. So I knew then that I would commit my life to provide assistance to women in whatever, and girls in whatever way I could. And what better way than to study law? So I went to high school, completed that, and subsequently gained admission, of course, at the University of the Gambia, where I graduated with a Bachelor of Laws. And then subsequently, I knew that I wanted to specialize in something that would help me even more. And that would also mean learning about the international and regional legal frameworks, that particularly those that are very protective of women and girls. So I applied for the prestigious University of Pretoria, at the Center for Human Rights, for scholarship in human rights and democratization in Africa. It's a Master of Laws, and I was fortunate enough to get admission and also to get the scholarship, making me the third Gambian to get into that program. The first was Marisen Firdaus, the second was Satang Nabane, and I was Dr. Satang Nabane, and I was fortunate enough to be the third Gambian to enroll into that program. Yeah, so I wanted to specialize in human rights. I wanted to be a human rights lawyer, and I am thankful that that opportunity has been granted. And I recently, in order to be able to be recognized as a legal practitioner in the Gambia, I enrolled into law school, the Gambia Law School, after 7 years of my LLB, and then 6 years after my LLM, I finally enrolled into the law school, and then I passed the bar. So looking forward to being called to the Gambia bar very soon.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that now calls for congratulations.
Thank you.
For passing, you know, all of these educational tiers to get to where you are now. And also, you've just been recently, you know, been the winner for the 2020 Daily Trust African of the Year Award. Everyone's talking about it. And, you know, this isn't the first award you've won. Yeah. We've won many in the past. So tell us how you felt when the 7-member award selection committee, led by former president of Botswana, His Excellency Dr. Festus Mogae, announced you as the winner. How did you feel?
I still don't know, because there's still a lot of emotions, a lot of humility, because I do this work not for the sake of recognitions or whatsoever. I do it because I am passionate about it, because there's a sense of fulfillment that working in this area brings me, the joy that it brings me. It brings me a lot of happiness, to be honest. So when such recognitions come, I'm usually overwhelmed, because I remember when I first read the email, I cried. Oh. So I can be a crybaby sometimes, but that happens because I can be very emotional, because this is something that I wasn't expecting at all. I did not apply for it. I was nominated by UNDP under the leadership of Aissata Day, and they found me worthy of being nominated and subsequently sent the nomination. So for the high caliber of people to find me worthy of, you know, being recognized or being given this award is very humbling. Yeah. And of course it's still a shock for me. I'm like, I don't even know why I deserve this award, and I'll get the response. I often get the response, oh, you don't even know the importance or the value of the work that you're doing. But that's because I don't even think about myself in that. When I am doing this, it's because of those girls that don't have the platform that I have, don't have the opportunity to have the I have, that those women and girls I seek to represent. So when it comes, it always comes as a great surprise and also a bit overwhelming, but most importantly, humility, that I have been found worthy of it. I'm thankful and appreciative of it, that it encourages us to work even harder to ensure that these things that we are passionate about and that women and girls continue to live a meaningful life in this country.
Nice. You know, we all are familiar with you at the TRC, but now you've left.
Yes.
And you were served as a deputy chairperson.
Deputy Executive
Secretary. Yes. So tell us now what's next for you.
Well, yeah, I still continue to work with Think Young Women as the volunteer national coordinator. Those are services that I don't get paid for, but I'm committed to ensure that that passion of mine that I have to see that women live in a society that is equitable, that is equal, for all of them and provides them with equal access and opportunities to education and other avenues and platforms that will enable them contribute towards the development of this country. So that's something that I'll always do until the day that I am gone out of this world. And because as part of the requirement after you have completed law school, in order to be enrolled, that is to sign the roll of call, you have to do a pupillage. So I recently, as of yesterday, started my pupillage, and I'm going to be working towards that as well. And I'm also considering maybe going back to the university because I love teaching and I miss teaching. But for me, this is my priority, to just get the legal requirement done to do my pupillage for 1 year, which I'm doing the excellent or brilliant legal practitioner Christopher E. Mene, and I'm excited about what the future holds. Really.
Yeah, I'm excited for you too. But before I let you go, you know, after hearing everything that you shared with us, your past experiences, the work you're doing, and obviously the challenges, you know, what do you think needs to be done for these young women, for these young girls, for young men as well? Because we understand that sometimes they can fall victim of particular situations that are not spoken about.
Yeah.
And then as a young man, you're not supposed to speak. You're supposed to be strong and manage whatever it is that you're going through. Same as with women. So tell us, what do you think that society, NGOs, CSOs, government need to do to, you know, have a stronger foundation to support these group of people?
I think for a start we need to change the social norms that exist, because these are the things that dictate how, that dictate gender roles, for example. These are the factors that dictate how we live in a society, how someone is supposed to behave, how they're not supposed to behave, what is meant for a woman, what is meant for a man. These are all dictated by social norms, and social norms and cultures and traditions vary and they change over time. I think we need to look at our context right now and see that we no longer live in that society where one gender or one sex is prioritized over the other, or is regarded as the superior gender over the other. We don't live in that kind of society again, and as a result we must be able to adjust, keep all our good traditions of course, but then remove those traditions that are prejudicial to the lives of a certain group of individuals. We need to be able to encourage our cultures to be such that they are not discriminatory, that they accommodate every possible member of the society in whatever way possible. I think also the stereotypes that are often associated with some of these issues are part of the desire to change these social norms. So social change communications are very important, where we go to communities and not tell them that their traditions are barbaric, but rather have dialogues with them and explain to them the impact that some of these traditions have on the well-being of women and girls in particular, and the rest of the members of the society. I think when we're able to do that and we get commitment from the relevant stakeholders, not just non-governmental organizations or civil society, community-based organizations, but also the state has a key role to play in it. You know, when you have laws that have been enacted, it's not enough to just have these laws in place. It also requires the enforcement and implementation, effective enforcement and implementation of these laws, to make sure that there are mechanisms that are provided, monitoring mechanisms in particular, so we can gauge the progress that has been made in relation to the law and what the gaps are, and then the need for constant reviewing of the laws as the societies change, as the context also changes. I think it's a holistic approach overall, but most importantly, civil society organizations need to work together and understand that when we fight, it's not just about our individual organizations, it's not about Musu, it's not about anyone else. It ceases to be about us. It is about the people that we seek to represent. It is about people on whose behalf we speak. And as a result of that, our personal agendas must be set aside, and we must collaborate where possible, still holding on to our independent institutions, but also minimizing wastage of resources by duplicating efforts. We need to not see each other as competitors, because sometimes you get compared to another person, and I am very different from another activist. They are very different from another activist. We all have something to bring on the table, and we all do individual work. And just because people work in the same field, people work in the same area, doesn't mean that there needs to be unnecessary which is sometimes, you know, incited by people, just the mere assumption that there is space for every woman, there is space for every girl, there is space for every organization. We all need to just focus on what is important and do the work and forget about our personal recognitions and gains.
True. Hello.
Well, I told you that was a very interesting interview, and so it was. And welcome back to the AM show. Now, moving on, the Global Youth Parliament, GYP, is an independent, non-profit, non-partisan social organization of young emerging leaders in more than 60 countries around the world, with their headquarters in Nepal, India. The organization focuses on promoting youth political leadership, entrepreneurship, peace building, good governance, democracy, and constructive dialogue, policy formulation, sustainable peace, and equitable development in pursuant to the UN Charter. Now, for more on the engagements, we're joined live in our studios by Baba Sise, who is the country coordinator. Good morning and welcome to the AM show, Baba.
Good morning, Baba Ibrahim. It's a pleasure being here once again.
Okay, now let's start with your recent engagements. Now tell us about the Congress you guys held recently.
Yeah, thank you very much. With Global Youth Parliament, is one of our mandate is to establish our chapters in all the regions in the Gambia. And then, of course, recently we have done almost 4 areas. That is Banjul chapter.
4 regions.
Yes, and then the Kanifi Municipal Council chapter. Then we also have the West Coast regions, and then Basse also have done theirs. So obviously we're only left with 2 areas, that's the Central River region and also the Lower River region, which is the LRR. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, you've done the Congress in these different regions. What was the outcome?
Beautiful. In fact, this is fantastic. I want to inform the public, if you see how Global Youth Parliament is moving in the Gambia, we know the youths are already, they already absorb one of our aims and objectives now. And one of the objectives that we do is like, okay, this year, we're gonna reduce the talking. The youths, we make a lot of noise, but when it comes to putting the work into action, is a problem, and that is a fact. And we have to start working for our country. Let's look at the country in general, the Gambia. There's like I told so many youths, I said, look, if you go to Europe, there's less problems. They are doing a lot when it comes to development. But in the Gambia, we have a lot of problems to solve. So therefore, we need to stay here and find those problems and solve those problems. So the youths already understand, look, Global Youth Parliament is here to put actions to work. And that's exactly one of the genes that we get in the Congress, one of the things that I've seen. I have seen vibrant youths with talent, gifted. These people have gift. Gambia is a wonderful country.
Okay, now, I do understand Congresses when people actually get to be elected to certain positions. Now, with regards to being selected in different regions, what will be the mandate of those selected few people within the different regions?
Yeah, okay. In the Congress, we have parliamentarians. We also have the executive board. But very importantly, parliamentarians, let me make this very clear. Now, the youths of the Gambia are going to be put into a model, especially the parliamentarian sides. They're going to be put into a model in such a way that they will understand the works of a parliamentarian, the true work of a parliamentarian. Now, of course, our parliamentarians at the National Assemblies are doing great work, but we want to come with difference. We want to make sure that whoever is selected, like for example, in the position of a parliamentarian, you need to understand your constituents very well. You need to understand, like for example, the number of people living in your constituents, the number of hospitals you have, the number of schools. You need to understand these things very well, understand your constituents in order to make policies. Now, with the Global Youth Parliament, and at the parliamentarian level, the parliamentarians make decisions for the people, like youths or members that are within the Global Youth Parliament and they are within their constituents.
In consultation with the people?
Yeah, in consultation with the people. They have to represent those people. They have to represent the interests of those people within the organization to make sure that those people are well represented. Now, we're not only stopping there, we're also trying to see how best this young parliamentarian can be built in such a manner that they will understand the National Assembly, how the National Assembly works, and then also they will understand what development is, because here in the Gambia, when you say parliamentarians, they tend to attribute parliamentarians with local government authorities, and they are not. Parliamentarians are policy makers, and they're fantastic. These are people that definitely represent us when it comes to policy, budgeting. These are things that are very important for the people of the Gambia to understand very well. But starting from the youth, we have the National Assembly at the children's level, but we also have the national, the parliamentarians at the Global Youth Parliament. We also have National Youth Parliament here in the Gambia. But you will realize that we are coming with different in the sense that these people will represent 100%. And let me tell you this, by Ibrahim Cham, coming back to your question again, it's like these positions, how they're going to represent it, it's a competitive positions. Because annually, we normally used to go for our national, of course, our annual conference in Nepal or in Europe or in America. Now, it's competitive. If your executive position is very weak, when selections come, you might not be selected to represent the Gambia. So it's very competitive. That's why most of the Global Youth Parliament executives or parliamentarians know exactly what is ahead of them, so they will definitely execute it.
Okay. Now, how will you tell us the crucial way Global Youth Parliament has been playing in the country since its inception, considering the fact that it is a youth-led organization?
Yeah, the Global Youth Parliament, we've started a year ago here in the Gambia, though not globally. Globally, it has been existing for more than 5 years. But in the Gambia, we just started last year, 2020, January, and we've registered. But you can see some of the activities that we've already put on the ground, and some of the things that we've already done. And you've seen us promoting, transparency and good governance. We've done that. We've even, of course, prized the minister, and then we've given him some, motivation to show that transparency is very good. It's something that we need in our government. Now, also, we're not only stopping there. We said this year we are going to look into the area of women. Women are very important. Gambia, let me make this very clear. Women are very important when it comes to the society.
Absolutely.
We definitely need to value them. And let's come to the past. There's a lot of women we lost, maternal cancer. These are areas that we are losing a lot of our women. We need to make sure that they are safe. And to be safe doesn't mean they only have peace, but their health matters. Their health really, really matters. And we have seen their health is really threatened, and then we have to stand up for it. And then, of course, I want to thank the Ministry of Health for being there for us, and most of the time when we call them up, they are there. I also want to thank Nana for partnering us with our maternal care action plan. This action plan, Gambia, I'm calling all of you. Our women's matters, and we definitely need to support them. And to support them, let's start with their health. They need to be safe first. This is very, very important, and that's why the Global Youth Parliament is coming up with that activities. So health is one of our areas, and then we will also have environment. Gambia, Operation Let's Clear the Dust. Dust is not about littering only, but the dust also is a problem. And then you can see, if you go around, sometimes you think, how is this dust coming up? But in Europe, you go there, they sweep their streets. They will also put water so that the place will not be dusty. And this is good environment. Like, look, we are all going, we're breathing. Did we ever ask ourselves how many bacteria are we breathing in? because you can see the pollutions, you can see how the environment is. So that's one of our areas that we will definitely look into. And the other area that is very, very important is entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship help us in terms of employment, and youths need to take in charge. They say we are not taking in charge when it comes to the business area. The Global Youth Parliament is coming up to make sure that Gambian youth take in charge in the business era.
Okay, now you have your headquarters in India. Now, how has the partnership been like with your partners in other countries?
Yeah, of course. Just a point of correction there. Nepal is in Southeast Asia. Most people would think it's part of India, but it is not. Of course, the capital city in Nepal is Kathmandu.
Okay.
And then, of course, for those of you who want to know where Nepal is where the largest mountain, you could say the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. That's where, of course, Nepal is. That's exactly Nepal. We have partners with other countries like Australia. And then currently, the GYP chapter in Australia wants to have a very good exchange program with the Gambia. And then we are working very hard to make sure that we have that exchange program, because according to FIBA, she is the Global Youth Parliament, of course, country coordinator Australia. According to her, is like Gambia has a fantastic culture, and Australia also do have a very good culture. So how best we can partner to make sure that we have an exchange program where probably they will visit in the Gambia, and also we will go to Australia to see how best we can learn from each other when it comes to culture. The other areas too, we are looking at Nigeria. Victor is a very good friend, he's a comrade. And then we are working together to make sure that the Nigerian chapter and the Gambian chapter work together in the development of the youth between the both countries. That is also another area that we are definitely looking at. And then recently we have Tunisia. Tunisia is the leader in Tunisia is looking for a partner, and then he deemed it very necessary. He contacted me and said, we have seen Gambia doing very well in the Global Youth Parliament around the world. So we will work together, and he asked me for us to work together to make sure that we have that collaboration between Tunisia and Gambia. So these are areas that we are definitely looking at when it comes to
finally, Baba, what more will you like to share with us before we take leave of you?
Yeah, thank you very much. For youths that are out there that are asking a lot of questions about wants to join the Global Youth Parliament, the Global Youth Parliament is open. In fact, the form is out, and then next week we will announce the form. So the chapters, the areas that you belongs to, either KMC, West Coast, and LRR, URR, CRR. We have our chapters in all these areas. So you can just pick up the form, fill the form, attach your receipts, and take it back to the nearest place, whether it's West Coast, Brikama, Banjul, CRR or LRR. So that is coming up. I just want to advise the entire youths to make sure that this organization is open, but we are not here to make a lot of noise. We're here to put action to work. And then impact. Yeah, that is what we are lacking, and that is exactly what we are going to work towards to make sure that Gambia is a better place. Look, we are the engines. We have to understand that a car engine is very, very important in the car. Without the engine, it's off. Youth in a country, they are the engine of the car. Maybe the president, His Excellency President Adao Barrow, is the bus driver, but we are the engine. We have to make sure that bus works. So we have to put that bus to work. How can we do that? Is to make sure that we work together, because the engines work together, so to make sure that the car moves. So we have to work together as youth. We don't have to look at each other as competitors. We are not competitors. This is our country. We can compete when it comes to development, yes. But when it comes to other areas, we don't have to compete there. We don't have to fight each other. We don't have to make sure that we have envy at each other. We have to push it to work. And let me also make this very clear. One of the main reasons why we are separated is because we like side talking, and we always allow politicians to divide us, and we have to stop that. We youths have to come together as one umbrella. We have to make this country a great country, because we are the futures today, and we are the futures tomorrow. It starts from now. We have to look into ourselves and ask ourselves, what have we contributed to our country, and not what our country has done for us. That's what youths have to understand. And that is why it is very, very important for Gambian youths to wake up and look at other countries' youths, do what they are doing in their country. Rwanda, Senegal, other countries, they're doing well when it comes to the national development. Why not us? So we are only busy on social media, and that is definitely wasting our time. We need to stop that. We can post on our social media, good article, people can learn from us, but let's move this country forward. Let's take the cutlass, let's take the rakes, let's take whatever instrument is there for us and put it to work. That is very important.
Thank you very much, Baba Cisse, for that wonderful and inspirational speech right there. It's an honor to always have the Global Youth Parliament here. Baba Cisse is the country coordinator of the Global Youth Parliament here in the Gambia. Now we're going to go for another short break, and when we return, the French segment with Ramataba comes next.
The weather-related disaster in the southern hemisphere. We examine the powerful storm causing a massive humanitarian crisis in three
I am Khadija Fati.
Hey, I am Sister Yai.
Hi, this is X-Mild.
Hi, this is Sex.
Hello, I'm Ronald.
Hi, I am Anna Mane, a fashion designer.
I am Danny Constant.
And I'm Fanta Jamba Sise.
Welcome back to the AM show, and now we're at the tail end of the program, in which we're going to invite Ramataba, who's going to give us an update in what's happening in the current affairs in French. Good morning, bonjour, Ramata.
Good morning, by Ibrahim Cham. Bonjour, by Ibrahim Cham.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Les informations. Bonjour à toutes et à tous sur votre chaîne leader, la GRTS, avec votre segment en français sur votre EMSO. Nous commençons par son Excellence Adama Barrow. Son Excellence, le Président de la République, le samedi passé, a présidé l'inauguration officielle au Parti national du peuple. La grande cérémonie a été tenue à l'Estade indépendant de Bakau. L'événement historique a rassemblé des milliers de supporters de parti qui ont rempli l'Estade indépendant. Ceci peut être décrit comme le plus grand rassemblement de personnes dans l'histoire du parti, comme l'a souligné notre reporter mondial. Ensuite, nous poursuivons vers Siara. La 4e édition du Festival culturel de Djandjambouré a été tenue avec succès dans la région de la rivière centrale avec un spectacle de présentation de traditions et de culture étalant des fameuses mascarades dans la sous-région. Ensuite, nous poursuivons. Enfin, nous terminons avec un jeune homme qui est dans ses 20 ans et actuellement en détention et dans la police dans leur enquête. Le succès a été saisi par la police municipale déclarée être derrière des mises en faux du décharge public de bas-côté. Merci, c'était tout pour votre segment en français.
Well, merci beaucoup, Ramataba. Thank you very much for that update on what's happening in the Gambia in the French language. I guess that gives us the go-ahead to draw the curtains for the end of this program. Thank you very much to each and everyone that watched the AM show, the first edition of the AM show for the week. Thank you very much for our cameraman Sambu. Thank you very much to our director Famara Baji. Thank you very much to our presenter that sat behind the camera, Winifred Nicole. Thank you very much to our editors and everyone who actually contributed, and to the technicians behind the scene. Thank you very much, and do have a pleasant day ahead and a wonderful week ahead too. Bye for now.
Assalamualaikum baɗigol mbal kontonna Allah am show team le men natali jamme yalon ko wolem abuko nature reserve nata janne fanam pour ka jibe da fengol mel tuta jang ani yirol ni lañ kunu different kunol me yalon ko mbatar la jan nata jang tarimol me yalon ko wolem authority of abuko nature reserve mel fana ye dulal ta yañi tandi molye so na management o fanam mid mel fana ya explain molye yemen kole ya cool fana me yemen soto jang anu fana yemen expect pour man sakunda se di mano menna
waleykum salam lamin jeju
itela do ko muneti jang
ndel bi jang ka da fe mara ani ndomru fengo ndelu ka di fengo fe menata pour da fengo la domoro ndelu ka di
so da fengo be lembam fonyi sulwol doron nem kamen je ko ma
da fengo men bi jang sulwo kongo wala bi jang anin kuto
sa ko mun do morsi fal di nying suluwol
suluwo subo le kana pa director wala ka subo sam kin sanna ya kina nka dafon tara
so ni da sim fengol do ka mol male bam foy bukema
no ntol bijanne ka birwate men nan to inte bijanne sanji mo sanji nene maje e memoire
sanji mo ngi be jang ina na maje da fengo ye mu barama jang wala yiki
jang kay ni da fengo men bijan ntol ka senane dula be nka dunne nka domoro diala anem jiyo bara buka fenke
so nga moylo ko comme ni da fengol be siari nyokan nenu say mun yatina li bondi nyokan
wala yalon sulwo nasita dula kilin kelolem ya ka celele wala na nga ce jang saba jang fula jaworo la ha
santilo kono sinya jelle al ka domoro dila
lun kilin lungolung sunya kilin ngadi
yamara do wokefa
suba buka banfan abuka banfan ha nka ni so mumedi
so mol kana jane comme docteur mel yalla vétérinaire ten e kana jane pour que sulul comme jata kende a